Item number 4 are our business manager's report items. Under tab number 5, Joe Don, looks like you've had a busy 2 weeks.
Well, yes. The first item I'd like to report on is that the Finance Committee met and did approve an accounting consulting services firm to make the transition to the Municipal Budget Act. They did choose Crawford and Associates. I will be signing the engagement letter and sending that back, and we'll be outlining their scope of services, and they'll be getting started in probably the second week of February. The sidewalk project is moving along. It ran into a few setbacks, but we're working through them. I think we'll have an acceptable solution to those setbacks shortly, and we'll be getting through with that project. The transfer station relocation project is proceeding. We're currently evaluating a secondary site on the old sewer treatment plant location. We'll be discussing this in committee and with the engineers. The water well project is proceeding. The city's in the process of purchasing the material needed to make this site operational, and we've contracted with Klein Industries to run the piping and get that system up and going. We're waiting on OG&E to install the electrical lines to make the water wells operational. We did successfully close out the 2009 FAA grant. This project has been going on. The paperwork was kind of in a mess, and we've finally got it all straightened out. FAA has approved the closeout. We're working on the 2010 grant to get it closed out, and some of that paperwork is in a similar situation, but we're working our way through that. AT&T will be installing an underground fiber optic cable on Barnes Street from First Street to Lane. This project is scheduled to start in a couple of weeks and finished by the end of February. Again, remind everybody that, remind the council members that the OML Citizens Academy is starting up in April, if anybody's interested in attending. The filing deadline for council seat number 1 council seats ends Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And congratulations to Cade Flater, who seems to dominate the sports section of the Enid News. And council members and mayor, that would be my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions or get back with you if you don't know the answer to the questions.
On the transition to the Municipal Budget Act,
yes, sir.
Is Crawford and Associates familiar with the software that we utilize, or have they had a chance?
They are very familiar with the software that we use. They have worked extensively with municipal governments throughout the state of Oklahoma. In our premier firm, they've worked extensively with Encode, so they are very familiar.
There's no risk of surprises and add-ons to software that we may have to acquire to get.
No, I'm not anticipating any risk with add-on software. There may be some contingencies as far as things that we're not expecting in changes in our process, but no changes in software.
And then on the FAA grants,
yeah,
is there a responsible source for paperwork with the FAA filings? Is that the engineers that we contract? Is that us as the city?
Well,
Is
that
our
was, I
airport
think that's where
management?
I think that's where the confusion lies. Normally, it's with the engineers, but I think that's where the confusion lies, is that our engineers seem to think we were the ones supposed to be doing that. And we felt that the engineers were the ones supposed to be doing that. Normally, the engineers are the ones that do that. With our current engineers, the ones that are handling our current grant, they're filling out the paperwork. But with our previous engineer, there was some confusion about that issue.
So
And that's where we're trying to get the paperwork straightened out.
is that something we need to assure is attended to in contracts with engineers going forward?
It is spelled out in our engineer contract with our current grants,
Okay.
but it's trying to straighten out the previous grants that it's causing the regurgitation of paperwork.
Okay.
The phone line between First and Lane,
It's a fiber optic line.
okay, is that going east on, through alleys, through,
It'll be on Barnes Street in the utility easement.
which is in the front or back?
It'd be in the front of the streets, be in the front.
Okay.
Be about 4 feet off the street, about 30 inches deep, if I remember right. Where's that note?
So there'll be trenching and boring
Yeah,
down.
yeah, they're gonna be about 4 feet off the curb and about 30 inches deep. So yeah, they'll be trenching and
So
boring.
some of those residents down there will be where.
You know which side of the street?
Be on both sides of the street. They'll kind of be switching back and forth. Starts out on,
No, you don't have to tell me all the way down to there. So
Okay.
if somebody has like a irrigation system in their yard or something, will they cautious about that? And
they'll be marking it. I mean, they'll mark what they're doing, but they won't. They're not going to go through and knock on your door and say we're going to be out in your front door working. That's the reason I'm bringing it up here.
Yeah, because those irrigation systems will be marked, if there is one. They can just dig right through those.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like a little clarification on the upcoming meetings. I think you've got a mistake here, Joe Don. I want to double check before we leave here. You said that the sanitation committee is meeting on Tuesday, didn't you change that to Wednesday?
I'd have to check my calendar. It may have been.
And
Yeah.
then the water and sewer, you got it for Wednesday, did you move it back to Tuesday? I'm not on it, did you move it back to Tuesday?
I think so. I printed out
Yeah.
the email because I
Okay.
thought.
Yeah.
they were
Okay,
on.
all right, I just.
Yeah,
Make sure
the-
everybody who don't know the committees know.
Yeah.
Tonight when they're meeting.
I'd have to check. I'd have to double check on my calendar. My calendar is right. This may not be because this went out after we finalized some of those, or before we finalized some of those meetings.
Just check.
And I'm still asking you to call a meeting of the Fire and Lights Committee, and he says he will as soon as he finds out what it does. So it'll be interesting to see what that committee actually, how it functions. I'll be in Oklahoma City on Wednesday at the Mayor's Conference of Oklahoma. I've been elected an alternate representative from District 11. And then on Friday, I'll be at Rose State in Midwest City for a Oklahoma Municipal League sponsored water conference. And I'll be reporting